Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Path of the Brush here on Gen Con TV. I'm Rick, your host, coming to you live from Hoplite Games in Lansing, Michigan. And we've got our good friends Will and Mark with us, and a special guest from a company called DGS, the makers of Free Blades. Jen, Mark, Will, come on forward. All right.
Hello.
Hey
Hey,
everybody.
Jen.
And hey,
Long time
Jen.
no see. I think it was Gen Con, pun intended. We saw you and I was holding your card here, and I said, hey,
Yeah.
we should get DGS Games on, and thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Tell us a little bit about DGS and what does that really like? How long have you guys been around? What are some of the things that have changed over the years that you guys have been a company?
Yeah, so we've been around since I believe 2012 was when the company originally started. I joined in 2019, so obviously
Okay.
everything's better since then. But no, over time, a lot of people have come and gone, but we have such a fantastic team of people right now. Our primary game is Free Blades, which is our skirmish game set in our fantasy world of Phalon. We've got over, I think, 16 factions now. So
Wow.
Tons of options on who you like the look of, what type of play style you like. We've got a little bit of something for everyone.
Okay.
We've also expanded to a full role play rule set known as Brightsword. And both of these have living rule books. So it is a hyperlinked PDF on your phone or tablet. You're not having to collect an entire library of books. When I come out with a new model, you just download the new rule book to have the stat lines.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And we also do some things that we like to call encounters, which are halfway between the role play and the skirmish world. Okay. Everybody controls one or two models. There is a narrative story. There's some bad guy that you're going to take out. And you get that cooperative play that you do from role playing, but you also get the skirmish fighting rule set. So you are rolling dice and killing things very quickly.
Nice. Now, Jen, what is your position with DGS?
So I was hired as the art director. That has morphed into the art dictator.
Hmm.
Really taking the position, made it my own.
All right, perfect. And currently,
how
how many artists are you currently working with, or are you work with at any given time?
So right now we really have a couple of primary concept artists with a third that we occasionally reach out to. They really like more like creatures and things, and everyone else does more the humanoids. And then I have about 4 primary sculptors.
Okay. And do you also art direct like your guys' graphics within like your books and your stat cards and all that stuff as well?
I work with marketing on that one, so yeah.
Okay.
We're taking all the assets that I designed, making sure that they're layered and that they can be multi-purposed. And we're still a small company, so everything has to kind of fill multiple roles.
Of course, art director probably got like 5 hats, right? So that makes sense,
right?
Now you said the company launched or came to be back in 2012-ish time frame. Yeah. Was Free Blades the flagship game of that time?
It was. We started with 4 of our factions.
Okay, so and you just said that you're now up to like 16.
Right. The growth has been good.
How many models does that make for your entire line? Is it?
Oh, I should know that off the top of my head. Part of my problem with this is though, like I know everything that's coming, and I have things that are like so far out that I have on my desk already at home. So I'm never a good person to ask how many, but
all right. Well,
I mean, well over 200.
Let's do some math here. 16 factions. What's the average number of miniatures in just a faction?
Well, that is quite spread out. So one of the big initiatives that I undertook this year is making sure that all of the factions have reached what we call maturity.
Okay.
So Colin, who's our lead designer for the game and does all the rules, and I worked out a system to kind of figure out what each faction needs to give you a lot of different things you can take to a tournament. So that even within that faction, there's a couple different play styles. Do you want to be more ranged heavy? Do you want to be a little bit more tanky? Do you want to be more speed and stealth? So we have been working over the next couple of years to really try and get those newer factions that we've come out with on an equal footing with the factions that have been out since 2012.
Okay.
So it is a little bit all over the place in terms of how many they have now. I am working really hard to get that figured out, but let's see if I can find in one of Julie's lovely spreadsheets here about how many models.
Are you hoping after you get everything up to parity to start adding some more factions?
Yeah, so we're not going to stop adding factions. We're just slowing down. Like I will be adding a new faction at Adepticon in 2025.
Nice.
But unlike most factions that just launch with their starter box of 6 models, I will have 10 models in this faction to start with. So it is the best launch that we've ever had to be able to pick up and get ready for a Gen Con tournament.
Have you all made any announcements to this new faction at all yet, or?
I think it's mostly under wraps, but I have no
Okay.
supervision tonight. They have left me here alone. So
Ooh.
like I said, I have all these models like on my desk at home. I know what's coming.
Ooh.
But, so
Okay.
the faction is called Varkral, and they've been in our lore for a while. So no one who had been following our Rolled Anvil account and reading some of the stories would be surprised that
Okay.
these people exist. But we've only seen a couple of their models, one in the Bandit faction and one that can be taken as an ally. And so
Okay.
this is the first time that you'll really see the faction as a whole.
Okay. And what is their shtick, right? Because I know you have some that are kind of like I'm working on one that's like a horse lord, like a Hun-esque.
Yeah, so you are working on a Grular.
Okay.
And I have a lovely Grular model here as well. So the Grular are Simkur people, which
Okay.
on our map would kind of be similar to Asia.
Right.
And so they have like a Mongolian Hun type of look and aesthetic to them.
Yeah.
So the Varkralans, we actually took a ton of influence from Tibet.
Okay.
So visually, you're going to be seeing, those kind of elements. There's some beautiful textiles over there. The
Mhm.
cane shield was a really
Okay.
cool, unique shield that they had. So when the Spearman comes out, there's going to be a cane shield and some things you haven't seen
Nice.
before. But for
Okay.
play style, their shtick is they actually don't do magic.
Okay.
Okay.
First faction we have without a magic caster. And not only do they not do magic, but their monk will dampen the magic and raise the target number that every other caster needs to succeed.
Ooh.
Nice. Magic Stopper.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of the magic stopper faction.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. That
Do they use
kind of goes in.
Vajras? I gotta know. I love Tibetan stuff.
What was that?
Do they use Vajras? The holy instrument. It's a lightning capturing thing. It's a
That
handle
I
with
don't think I've sculpted yet, but I'm going to make a note because there are more models coming.
Hmm.
We're starting with the 10, but it's mostly, I think, like spears. We do have some swords.
Okay. That's
One of them is
interesting.
just, fighting hand to hand. The one that
Like a monk,
dampens.
like monks would do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it. And it's kind of interesting because if you think about other media that has used Tibetan mythologies or whatever, like I kind of feel like Doctor Strange had a little bit of Tibetan mythology in there, and so did Iron Fist.
Yes.
In the comics and in the movies and shows and stuff. So it's kind of interesting because they are given this whole level of mysticism, but you're going to make it so that it's all about inner strength, and magic is a negative in their society, which is kind of cool.
Right. So it's definitely going to be a different play style than anything that we've had before. But I've been playtesting it quite a bit, and it's a ton of fun
Okay.
to wrap your head around it and see how it all works.
Nice.
Yeah, and with some models, you get some variety.
Yeah. So which one are you working on? What model?
So I'm actually doing, let's see, one of the Grular. Let's see where exactly on this. And so she is going to be one of your kind of Mongolian themed ones. She is holding a burning skull. So what they do is they take these bundles of herbs and they stuff it into the skull of their enemies. And then they throw it at you, and it can cause fear and confusion and some other fun things. So I think she's one of the sexiest Grular models.
Is that the Fearbringer?
Yes, the Fearbringer.
I got
Nice.
some art. Thank you for supplying that. So look at this
Yes,
here.
there you go. She's got a bag of skulls on her hip there. She's obviously got one in her hand she's throwing. We
got
can
a flail
also
there.
hit
It's like a
people, but you know,
big flail.
what's the fun in flailing people to death if you can just hit them with burning skulls?
I mean, why would you not?
This is why I collect skulls. You know, I need to get different herbs growing on my farm.
There you go.
And that's just part of being a dictator, really. You end up collecting them, right?
What
Yeah,
I find
well-
interesting, what I find interesting about like the one I'm doing and the one that you mentioned that you're painting is in the movie 300. The one I'm painting kind of reminds me of the Immortal, right? With the silvered masks, and
Yeah.
so so you wouldn't see any paint on their face there and all that stuff. And then they did have those ones that kind of had the alchemy skull thing going, but it wasn't a skull. It was more of a sensor or whatever you would call it, right? But it
Right.
was flaming up and stuff. So it's kind of cool that people could pull reference from even a movie like 300 for some of their paint schemes or whatever on these. Mark, what are you painting?
All right. I am painting the Dune Crawler, which right now I just got the black prime on, so I'm waiting for it to dry up before I start doing the scheme. But pretty wicked here. It's a scorpion.
Yeah.
And let me show you the art for it here. And you got a rider on it.
Sick.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's a cool looking creature right there.
he's a cutie patootie.
It's a king of scorpions, if you see what I did there.
It's very
Right.
cuddly. It likes to hug.
Yeah, right.
Bet. Nice. And Will, what do you got?
I'm working on. I got this Naga guy.
Okay.
Snake people are cool. And then I've got this this really rad knight.
Yeah, he's sick. We're gonna have to put him on because there wasn't a base. We got those bases here. We'll pull one off the wall and base him up real slick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big enough he could just basically have his own little mini diorama.
Yeah.
Especially that
Exactly.
pose he's in where he's kind of in mid leap.
Oh, he's
Yes.
begging for something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs somebody to be stomping on.
Yeah. It's very cool. Now
Yeah.
you guys do like unlike some other companies that like hit like 1,000 freaking conventions a year. You guys are really hyper focused on the conventions you attend.
We
Right?
are. Yeah, we have tried a few others. We went to
Mhm.
Nova
Okay.
in 2024.
Okay.
And we've tried some things like that. We went to LVO as well. So, but for the
Mhm.
most part, the entire company goes to Adepticon
Right.
because if
Mhm.
you're into miniature skirmish games, that is the
Yeah.
place to be. There's nothing that beats it.
Nice.
Really excited to move to Milwaukee this year in a bigger center and
It's gonna be
try-
awesome.
yeah. And then Gen Con,
Yeah.
where I got to run into you guys. So
Yeah,
that's a
cool.
big one that we love to do. And we've got
Yeah.
a nice big tournament down there. And then the other one we never miss is ReaperCon.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And then our local guys up there in Michigan have started their own little charity one called
Yeah.
Mid-Mitten Gaming. And so I
Yeah.
believe Will said he's been out to that
Cool.
one. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Been there for the last 2 years. They're great guys. It's been a whole lot of fun to get out there. Some really
our
good moments.
entire community is absolutely wonderful.
Very welcoming. Yeah, it's been super cool working with those guys. It'll be nice to if you're planning on playing this at Hoplite, it'll be nice to have an excuse to see them some more.
I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, we've already sent Jeff to your store, so
Yeah, he was I'm not trying to put any words in his mouth, but he seemed to be very impressed with the space.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You guys can hook Jeff. I have no doubt.
Yeah, he was like, "You have a lot of play space over here." I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
We
but
will-
he's
Yeah.
eyeballing it. Can we use it?
He's like, I know where there's all these Free Blades models. I can come run encounters. So Jeff runs our Brightsword, which is our role-playing game.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, I mean, he is a perfect person for like all of the encounters types games. If you guys want to try some cooperative things to let people kind of dip their toes in
Mhm.
and see how the world works without having to worry about like, do I know these rules well enough to win?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we had a
That's-
really good conversation about that because, in regards to like doing a demo day or a games day here around Free Blades,
Yeah.
on Saturdays here at Hoplite, we do this thing called Hoplite Heroes, which is for kids 9 to 16 to come in and play Dungeons and Dragons and other games. We have some BattleTech kids are branching into BattleTech and some other miniature games, and I think this would scratch an itch with them uh, if we could get them just a little subjected to it, right?
Yeah, I think they could have a ton of fun in this world. So my kids are kind of in that age range and they have a lot of fun depending on which one. Some of them, my
Mhm.
daughter's definitely more cooperative. She does not
Okay.
want to actually fight with her brothers in a game. In real
Right.
life, she'll take them.
it's,
Different in
it's
real life.
it's flesh and blood.
Yeah, in real life, run, but in a
That
game,
tracks.
she's
Yep.
much happier when they're killing something together.
Right.
That's great though. Camaraderie.
Yeah, so we do a lot of like beast hunt as an encounter. So
Okay.
depending on how many models that they like, our rule book for our beast hunt scenario has the gold value of all the models you're bringing against this, and this is the best thing to fight. This is what's going to be a challenge at your level.
Okay. So one of the things I find interesting about your guys' game is you use exploding crits. Could you explain what that means?
Yeah, so we do use a tiered dice system. So if you're familiar with D&D, you probably already have, the D4 through D20.
Mhm.
And so when you're rolling, the better you are at, using your sword or your bow, the higher die you're rolling. And whatever the highest number on that die is considered a spike. So you keep rolling.
Okay.
So your faction leader tends to be fantastic with their melee weapons. So they are rolling a D12. So if
Okay.
they roll a 12, they're going to roll again.
Hmm.
If they roll another 12, they keep going. And at this point, you should be scared because anything 10 over your defense is going to be considered a crit, and their next dice is going to start at a spike. So it adds up.
The TK, yeah, knockout right away. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
That's
can be amazing if you're in a difficult position. Maybe you had some bad rolls earlier, you didn't position your models well.
Yeah.
You're never guaranteed to lose because the dice can always swing it back in your favor.
Right.
So it's always worth sticking around and seeing what the end result's going to be.
And we
And
did
you
have
guys
Sir Gambit 25 in chat said Fearbringer. So he seems
nice.
to be pretty excited about that.
She's my favorite of them. But yeah, I called her sexy in our podcast, and somebody's like, oh, so Jen thinks scary women are sexy. A lot of things are making sense now.
All
All right. All right. Now, do you guys track like if someone does something like crazy? Like I had an 8 run crit, right? An explosion of 8.
Yes.
Right?
Every die has the best roll. If it was at, like a sanctioned event, like a tournament or
Yeah.
something, we absolutely keep track of that. And somewhere on our website is actually a list of who holds that record.
That's cool.
That's really fun. Oh man.
It gives you like clout and bragging rights within the game, right? You're like, I am the D6, exploding dice champion or holder of the record. That's kind of cool.
It is fun. And I've had some great times playing that in tournaments. Someone hit me once with a 34.
Yeah.
And I had a parry because I tend to play Haredale, which is kind of the knights in shining armor. And so
Okay.
there's a lot of parries, and that's usually what saves you. So when I go to parry, if I roll a natural fail, a 1, which we call a tarch, then
Okay.
that resets my defense to 1 and potentially adds another level of crit to what they did. So there is potentially a downside, but I actually rolled a 36 and managed to parry it.
Wow.
All right.
So
That feels
that's
good.
the-
Huh?
that's like the one time that's happened out of, all the different times I've played this game. But
Right.
I know it can happen.
Those are the
Right.
stories though that that you tell and keeps coming, and Will definitely writes that down in his his history books, and it tells the tales. Songs have been sung.
I mean, I've been sainted in Free Blades.
What?
Oh, that's awesome.
We
All
were
right.
doing one of our campaigns. So one of the things we do here locally out of Kansas City, although we post it on Facebook and Discord and let everybody follow along, is we do some campaigns, and it's a lot like Mordheim's old campaigns.
Okay.
If you guys ever
Yeah.
played those, so you get to level up each of the people in your free band. They can gain new abilities. They can also gain injuries. So you could maybe have a leg injury and it just slows you down a little.
Okay.
Nice.
It doesn't take you out of the
A
game
little bit
entirely.
limp, though.
And we got to the end of one of these campaigns, and my high quester of Barrick is impetuous. That's one of her skills.
Nice.
And she has to roll a die to see whether she runs directly at the first enemy she sees. If she rolls less than a 4, she is taking off towards the first thing she sees. So we are in the Redstone Pass. There are just waves of undead coming at us. The Kandorans have resurrected every skeleton that they have found on their long march to these gates.
Dirty
And it is
Kandor.
all coming straight at us, and I roll a 1.
And all of a sudden, she turns into Han Solo, seeing a stormtrooper.
Ah!
Yeah, so I mean, I run out there. I killed so many of them,
Okay.
but you can't kill enough of them to stay alive forever.
Right.
But she did gain her god Barrick's blessing, because Barrick is all about running in impetuously, and so he smiled on her. She got a few boons,
Nice.
killed a few more people, died gloriously, but it took her so long to die, and she held up so many of them that all of the people inside the city were
Mhm.
able to escape out the back, because the dead aren't very fast.
Right. They kind of lumber along.
Right. So, there were survivors to tell her story, and so she
Mhm.
gets to be sainted. So she is now Saint Janaris.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
sick. Yeah.
The Kandorans
Yeah.
also resurrected her dead body, and they're still running around with her and using her. So Haradel needs to mount a crusade to go rescue her.
Nice.
It's on our to-do list, but we're going to play around in the Inner Sea for our next campaign, so she's going to have to wait.
So you mentioned the Inner Sea campaign before we came on. Could you tell us a little bit more about what that's going to look like for the community, and what you guys hope to get from that?
Yeah, so we're starting to play with ships. Obviously, most skirmish games are set on land. We play on a 4x4 table. You can be in forests, deserts, cities, whatever terrain you want to throw down. But for the Inner Sea, for the first time, you're going to be fighting ship to ship.
Nice.
So you're going to have, boarding actions where you go onto their ship and attack them. And I don't know if you'd really call it piracy. I think technically, at least for Haradel and Falkar, who are the two countries that border that Inner Sea, they're just privateers. They have their letters of marque from their respective
Privateers.
Right. We're doing the same thing, but we have a sheen of respectability.
Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
this is bringing on all new rule sets into the system based on naval combat and everything, right?
Yes. So we are playing with all of that. We've done some in the past where, we went underground. And so this is what fighting in caves underground or really tight buildings is going to be like. It added a ton of fun to the game.
Okay.
And so we are excited to add boats as another option.
Absolutely. And it's kind of funny when Jeff was here today, we were actually building a bunch of ships for an event I'm doing, and for a camp for the kids during the Christmas holiday break. We're doing a week-long adventure camp.
Awesome.
And we're building these. I don't know if you're familiar with a company called TT Combat.
I am not, but I can look them up.
Yeah, but they have these nice the cardboard or not cardboard, but kind of like this wood that I have here for the this dry brush board I've got. It's same kind of material,
Okay.
and we have that ship. We have the Whiz Kids, Falling Star, and a couple other ones. I have a crab that has a ship that's it's using as its shell, right?
Awesome.
And so I'm a big fan of high seas campaigns and adventures. So when he was talking about the Inner Sea event, I was like, you got to just stop. You're just throwing all the good things at me here.
Yeah, I got Sophie's Revenge from Reaper.
Oh yes, that's a great.
I got a really big ship, but I was told that was too big.
No.
Yeah, that's my thought too. Obviously, you get the title dictator by listening to other people.
Indeed.
That would happen.
So they'll be surprised when I show up on the giant ship.
Yeah, for sure.
As soon as you mentioned boats, I knew Rick's heart was going pitter pat at that.
Oh, it was.
That's his
Now,
thing.
when you say the ship thing too, is the ship going to have a point or a gold value based on its size?
It is. So we're starting with small
Ooh.
ships because you have, I think, 150 gold to do your free band, which is our starter box size.
Yeah.
So the campaigns are a perfect way to get into the game. You get your starter box, you have that painted. That's your initial faction.
Okay.
And then every time that you finish a mission, you get to roll for gold, as well as any objectives you completed will give you more gold.
Okay.
And then you can use that to buy a bigger ship. You can use that to buy more members for your party.
Ooh. Yeah, this is sounding better and better. We didn't get into the details of how this is going to play.
Yeah, so you're tracking the AP on every character that you bring, and so they are leveling up. You get to add more people. You get to add some equipment, things like the ship.
Yeah.
Hello, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. John is going to pop in real quick and say hello.
Oh, perfect.
Hey.
Hey, John, how are you?
Welcome.
I'm great, thanks. Dealing with a little family emergency. I just want to stop in and say, one, I really appreciate you guys and all the things that you do.
Thank you.
And two, it's really not true that this is a cover story because I'm a crappy painter and I didn't want everybody to see how. Although that's true, that's not what's going on. So
All
I
good.
heard that you paint ghosts really well, like an owl or maybe a wolf.
yeah, in an emergency, that was crazy. I do have that one talent, a little bit of what is it, a Kalian blue, the contrast, right, with some dry brush white, boom, done.
Done.
Nice.
Picasso,
Perfect.
baby, totally
That's
Picasso.
what I'm talking about.
But you are in great hands. If I had to pick any one of us to be the person talking to me, it'd absolutely be Jen. Super talented, way more personable than the other six of us. You know,
I've already
She's
leaked
kill-
all kinds of information.
have you? Right?
Yeah.
You know, that's between you and Julie, not between you and me. I'm a big leaker too, so that's all good.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no adult information here.
So, hey,
Julie's our
thanks.
only adult.
Yeah,
I'm really
thank
sorry I
you.
couldn't join you, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching it later. I think you guys are awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you so
thanks
much.
so much. Appreciate you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very
So-
cool. Thank you.
So a lot of people who watch our show know that this is more of an interview show that we just also happen to paint miniatures. So
Right.
Jen, what paint are you currently using for your miniature?
So I have been dying to try out all of my Too Thin Coats by Duncan Rhodes.
Okay. Nice.
So this is my excuse. So that is exclusively what I am working with tonight.
Nice. That's a decent paint line.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just got wave 3, and
Okay.
unfortunately, I don't have anything that's super neon right now and needing
Mhm.
it, but I definitely wanted to play with those more because I started by learning from Citadel Paints.
Okay.
So to basically be able to take all of their triads and the whole system that I learned, but in a much better quality in a dropper bottle, it's fantastic.
Right.
Really
Some-
enjoying it.
There's something to be said about dropper bottles, right?
And you don't have the waste.
Right. Mark, what are you using tonight?
I got a hodgepodge of things today. I've got a little Citadel contrast. I think I'm going to do some purple. I even got some Dollar Romney ink that I'm going
Nice.
to use. Then I got some more Paint Fanatics, some fuchsia, and even some Turbo Dork I might throw in there. So we'll see. I got a
Nice.
little hodgepodge of everything.
You sure do. How about you, Will? What do you got on your palette today?
Oh, I just got these guys primed, and I put on the Naga guy. I got some Marine Mist just as a base coat, and I'm gonna darken that up, getting the cracks a bit. And for this guy, I'm using some scale 72, I think
75.
75. Yeah, there we go. Scale 75 Necro Gold.
Nice.
I
Ooh,
love
yeah.
that Necro Gold.
Jesus, that looks
color.
cool already.
It's a
Yeah.
really nice
Yeah.
color.
Very cool. And I'm using Warpaint Fanatics and Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0. When I saw these miniatures that I picked out to paint, my first reaction was like, ooh, I got to use Slaughter Red. And so, yes, I am absolutely using the Speed Paint Slaughter Red because it just kind of vibes. I feel like with the armor on the guy there,
Oh yeah.
kind of gives
Absolutely.
a samurai vibe as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then these bloat bugs or whatever these carrion flies are, which I feel are like super. They look tame, but they give me the super scary thing. I use the Slaughter Red on their back end of their bodies to kind of give them that like mosquito effect where the blood and gore is kind of like accumulating there. And then I used Zealot Yellow for the wings, and I'm using the Purple Swarm for their face and body area, like the carapace parts.
Awesome.
But what I was told about these little flies today, they're pretty scary,
They are.
right? Because let me see if I retained the information. In certain events where you might be trying to go and rescue a body of a fallen knight or a king or something, and everybody's trying to get their king out of the field of battle or whatever. If you get to the wrong body, these things burst forth and would attack the players. But the scary thing is it for every point of damage they do, they get stronger?
They do. So yeah, as they're sucking your blood, at some point you're going to get weaker, and they're just having the time of their lives.
Yeah, so that's freaking scary.
Those guys are the worst.
Yeah, I was like, no way. So obviously,
you can't ignore those on the field of battle.
Yeah, these are going to be staples.
Right. And then there's multiple models there, so I believe you have to kill multiple models. So they might get weaker as you start killing them off, but you're
Right.
probably not taking them out in one hit.
Yeah, there's 3 on this one.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so good.
No, with this guy, you had said that he was his skin was like burning bark.
Yeah. So it's got like that kind of white ashy finish, and then the recesses would be really, really dark.
Okay.
Although I fully support people painting whatever interests them.
That's this
But
fella, right?
Yep. So you've got that ashy white for the skin, and then the beautiful gold that you've got on there, and then we've got plenty of cloth, which can be a ton of fun to paint and highlight and really have fun with.
That gold was completely accidental. Yeah, credit to your sculptors for making it look like it needed to be gold.
Right.
A beautiful model.
Well, we got a
Yeah, that
comment
one
from
is
the
sick.
Hobby Habit too that said that they've been bitten by the ship bug as well. They've been working on a boat for the last 4 days, and they blame
Ooh.
you, DGS Freeblades people, for this.
Holy shit.
Yes. Good.
Holy shit.
Word of
Holy
the
shit.
industry has spread.
So good. That is so good.
I am switching up factions for it, so I'm a little nervous because for the first time I've gone away from Haredale, and I'm going to be trying to play Falcar.
Nice.
Okay.
I like that.
And so do the boats, do they become kind of part of your party? Do you get to name it, and like does it grow with you in any way?
Well, I know you can swap it for a larger one. I'm not sure yet. I didn't check if the boats gain skills as you go, or if it's just a transport mode. I've been really focused on painting for it. So one of the weird things that I do is that I paint during football games.
Okay.
That doesn't sound weird at all because it sounds much more engaging.
Right. Well, I think my husband desperately wants someone to quietly sit and enjoy a game with him, and I don't
Okay.
sit still well.
Okay.
But if I'm painting a model, it works perfectly. Well, since I started this, Kansas City has won multiple Super Bowls.
Well, no. Slow down. So, because our local team is doing pretty well, and we'd really like to see
You
them.
guys are, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I have no hate for the Lions, but yeah. So on game day, like my husband has my paint desk like set up for me, and he does more of the building models and priming them and stuff. And so like my desk
Yeah.
will be full. So
Okay.
he's like, go to your corner and do your thing, and I'm gonna watch the game.
Well, that's actually a pretty cool way of actually engaging with each other, because you're gonna look up and watch some of the game during the time and be like excited about whatever plays are being done, and he can engage with you in that, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a ton of fun, and it helps keep me focused. John, who was just in here, is on Hobby Streak Day like 2,600, or I mean, it is
Jesus.
utterly insane.
Nice.
He is completely dedicated to keeping his hobby streak alive.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I mean, he travels for work and all kinds of things that you could easily make an excuse from, and I have not been able to stick to that.
Wow. That's
The closest I get is I paint during football games, and it helps me really progress on multiple projects and keep things going.
so this was now that's given me a really cool idea for the store here, right? Because we do a thing on Thursdays that we just call paint night, right? And
Yeah.
so we have tons of loose miniatures and all sorts of paint, because our company runs the paint and take at New York Comic Con, C2E2, Fan Expo Chicago. I have a meeting on Friday with the GalaxyCon owners, because they want to bring us to their shows as well. And so I get miniature sponsors. So we have multiple companies that have provided miniatures for the events, and the excess we use here, we don't, because they're given to us to give away. So we give them away here as well. And we have a community of about 30 to 40 painters every Thursday night. Right.
Nice. That's solid. I love that.
But now that makes me think, is this hobby
Football mashup?
Oh, no. What you were saying,
The hobby streak?
Hobby streak.
Yeah.
Right? We can give
30 minutes per day is what we were trying for the streak. Just,
okay.
priming, building, painting.
Yeah.
Any of it.
That could be a cool incentive for people to come to the store and work on their models. And if they maintain a streak, like I have a gentleman here tonight who has been in probably the last 15 days, every day, last 15 days, working on models, painting, building, all that stuff. And I would think, like, if they did a 30-day streak here at the store, there should be a award for something like that. And which would encourage people to come in on multiple days to do something. Oh, look at you guys. Throwing so many bones at me.
We come from such a fantastic community here in Kansas City. Tabletop Game and Hobby is one of our biggest stores in the area, and they always had a paint table. And especially, Friday nights, Saturdays, like some of the craziest stories, and you never knew who was going to be there.
Right.
But no matter who sat down, it was always just a blast, and you would find things to talk about, and everyone would help each other if there were questions or, newer painters.
Yeah.
And it was just one of the coolest parts of the hobby is how much people can come together.
Right. Now I've got my brains a thinking. I want to actually jump off camera and grab the ship that we built, the most current one. Let me real quick.
So you said you've been doing this for a while, and the model that I'm working on, you mentioned it was one of several gods. So you've got like a pantheon set up.
We do. So there are 9 Gaul running around.
9 Gaul?
Yeah, the Gaul are our gods.
That was built. Can you bring it over here for me real quick? Thanks.
And one of our super fun scenarios is the Gaul have gone crazy. And in that one, you actually get 2 magic lists instead of your usual 1. And every caster gets to cast twice every turn, but every so many power that are spent, you roll for some random effect, which could be positive or negative. Yeah, that's a beautiful ship.
And
looking good.
So, not knowing about the Inner Sea thing until today, this is going to be
you're halfway there. Just pick the starter box.
Right? Look at this. I think it's going to be it's so good. Thank you, Chris.
It is. I'm really excited. So I think, Mark, you're the one who has my card. That picture on my card is my Caradel Blade sister. And she kind of has a little bit of a pirate vibe, I feel like, with that trench coat.
Oh,
and so my entire faction is painted to match her. That was I bought her Sophie's Revenge. That was for her to stand on and just look cool as a display model. But now she's actually going to get to fight on it, so I can't not give her the rest of a faction.
Right? So good.
And it's been really fun because to match the orange I did for her trench coat, I just put everybody else in life preservers.
That is super cool.
We got a couple comments. We got Guardian 170 said hobby strike 30 minutes a day of hobby play doesn't count. And Hobby Habit came back and said, what I miss, they had to pretend that they were grown up for a second. And don't we all? Don't we all?
Right.
You
That's
can't do it
funny.
for too long, though. It's depressing.
Right.
Right. So I do a homebrew D&D game, and it's called the Stormcrest Chronicles, which it features a ship. But now I want to bring the Stormcrest into the inner sea and show people what real pirates are about.
Are you going the privateering or the full pirate route?
Oh, I go the full pirate. The only thing that'll stop me from raiding you is a good parlay.
Now we got him. Now we got him going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dang it. I apologize.
No, go for it. You're all in. Ride that wave, sir. Ride the
right.
wave.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you've got until January. That's plenty of time to get 6 models painted up.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you're already working on the first one, so you actually have a model that is not out yet.
Well, nice.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so one of the things that we have done, because we have been in this for years, is we initially started in metal. So everything was a spin cast metal model. And then we recently got a Cyocast and an Asiga printer so that we can start coming out in plastic. So everything that you guys have is the newer stuff.
Nice.
And what you have there is the Krang, which was originally a metal model that was nowhere near that attractive.
Oh, wow.
And so as part of the conversion process, my production counterpart, Matt Green, and I sat around for, I think, 10 hours one day, and we went through every master of every model that we have. By the way, it's over 300. I know that much from the spreadsheet.
Okay. There
And
we go.
you know, we looked at every single piece. We looked at, you know, how easy do we think this is going to be to convert? Or is this something we just throw in the trash and we start all over with a new sculpt?
Okay.
And so the Krang is one where we did a completely new sculpt.
Nice.
And so that one is just about to come out.
Yeah, hear that, boys? We got one that's unique.
And
Yeah,
Guardian
so that's the
170
first one most
says that-
people haven't seen yet.
Nice.
All right, I'm starting to lay some paint on this thing. Finally, it dried, so I'm going a dark purple base, and then kind of doing a turquoise
Ooh,
outline
Oh,
thing.
Ooh,
So
yeah, looks good.
like
we'll
it.
see how it comes. A lot of edging.
Yeah, Guardian 170 says that they'll need to teach you Bright Sword for invading the inner sea.
R.
Yar. we might have added the yar. I don't know. I just felt like there was a yar there.
So you hobby during football games? Do you watch? Are you watching anything cool that you would recommend? Any cool shows out there?
You know, the bad thing is I tend to watch things that I've already watched 500,000 times because while I'm painting, sometimes you get in the zone and you forget and you're not watching for 20 minutes. And then when you look up, you kind of want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So unfortunately, I tend to bring out the old classics.
Okay. So what's an old classic that you turn to quite frequently?
So I have all of Supernatural.
All right.
Good
Well,
choice.
I'm currently on season 5, I believe.
Okay. All right.
So, you know, the world has already ended once, but it's never over.
No.
How many times have you been to season 5?
At least 3.
Woo.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
I'm surrounded by Supernatural fans. I haven't watched it yet, but it sounds like something to put on the list.
Yeah, we have
It's
a friend
a
at
fun-
work.
it's
It
a
goes
fun
to
ride.
all the convention. You know, they do the convention. I think they have a cruise too, or something. I don't know. Kind of wild. She goes every year.
I think it's such a good show. There were some really, really fun things that they did with it, and you could just tell how much the actors enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And they had an episode that was utterly insane because they went through kind of a dimensional portal and into a world where they were actors on a TV show.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. My favorite episode is the Scooby-Doo crossover.
That was a really good one too. Yes.
Yeah, I like the creature of the week ones and not the main storyline ones. So I don't know if I'm a true fan. A lot of boo people are saying boo at home there, but I love the creature of the week stuff.
Yeah. The initial couple seasons where they had that, and then when it became more the overarching plot, Leviathans I thought was their worst season. I think
Oh
it was season
no.
11, maybe.
Okay.
That was the one where I started to struggle with it.
Okay.
And Sir Gambit 25 shares with us that the Bandit faction freebooter is the most traditional looking pirate model.
It is, and the hat is a separate piece. So if you just happen to need a tricorn hat as a bit,
Okay.
You could bid it out.
steal it from him.
All right. I kind of feel in the inner sea stuff, having a ship that is actually named should have some form of benefit, right? If it was just I'm coming in with my schooner, that doesn't sound intimidating at all.
You're great. No, absolutely. Naming it should come with something.
Yeah.
And John would be the person who could make that happen. So I think we can talk him into it because we can guilt him about not being here tonight for
Yeah.
longer than to say hello.
I mean, everybody wants their
I
own
talked John
Millennium
into crazy
Falcon
people.
or Firefly, right?
Yeah.
Or their Serenity, rather.
Serenity. Yeah.
Or the Rocinante.
Ooh, yes.
I love that one.
Yeah. Everybody wants to have a name ship.
Right? With its own
So good.
personality. Yeah.
Yes. So good.
Give it quirks. Give it a temper.
That's right. So for everybody watching, obviously we're not sponsored by Disney by any means, but if you want to get a good pirate vibe right now, check out Skeleton Crew, the new Disney Plus Star Wars show. It's got a very Treasure Planet piratey thing going on. It's super funny.
Kind of Goonies vibe you're saying.
Yeah. First episode, very Goonies. Second and third episode, very Treasure Planet.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's even a robot, and then this isn't a spoiler because he's on every commercial and everything, but his name is SM33. So his name is Smee, Captain Hook's right-hand man.
Yeah.
So good. It's like, and he has a pirate, all right, Captain, what do you, it's so good.
There's going to be a roadie in that swallowed a clock and it's going to make a ticking noise.
More Captain Hook.
Yeah, you've got to have fun with your job.
Yes.
Hobby Habit says that they've also been watching Skeleton Crew with their family and really enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, that's my show pitch for tonight.
Yeah, I got to watch the latest episode. Came out yesterday.
Yeah, it was good.
I did a strange throwback with my family. I've been trying to convince my kids for years that MST3K is as funny as I have been saying it was. I finally got them. They're finally old enough, and I watched the turtle one. What's his name? The turtle that like the giant rubber suit kaiju.
Godan
Gamera.
or something like that? Gamera. Okay.
Yeah, Gamera is really neat. Gamera is full of meat. Hooray for Gamera. That's right. That's his theme song.
Okay. All right.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yes.
The younger viewers out there that have never seen it. They did do that little reboot, right? It wasn't the same because Joel wasn't in it, right? It was the other comedian.
There's 10 seasons before the reboot on Netflix.
Good
so
Lord.
Lots to go off of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are amazing.
So in the first season of Supernatural, my favorite episode was the Wendigo one, which I think is like the first episode.
I think that might be the first, yeah.
That one is because I've always had I've always enjoyed the mythology of the Wendigo, and in Marvel Comics, it's he's a Canadian bad guy, so, and he's fight. For those that don't know this, in Hulk 180 and 181, Hulk is fighting the Wendigo, and 181 is the first appearance of Wolverine in Marvel Comics. So Wendigo is a good lead-in for one of the the biggest heroes of the day there. So
and he's had
Wendigo
plenty of
rocks.
scraps with Wolvie too.
Yeah.
Guardian 170 agrees that Mystery Science Theater 3000 is a lot of fun.
Good tastes.
Good tastes.
All
Good
right.
taste. That's fun.
So I love mythologies and learning about them. And you were just starting to tell me that all the gods went crazy, and I want to know more.
What?
In Free Blades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of our scenarios is if you you cast a little bit too much magic, and the gods kind of suddenly start paying attention, like, what in the world are they doing over there? And you roll a d30, which is the biggest dice that we use in our system, to see which effect you're going to have. And some of them can be friendly. Some of them are like you get a divine wind that flattens almost everybody that's not, mounted on a scorpion
Okay.
or a horse. And you can also have positive ones where you get more magic back. There's so many things that can go wrong in that one, or wonderfully right.
Nice.
But
and that's a side effect of the gods going crazy.
Yeah, that's a side effect of drawing too much of their attention, and then they're kind of competing. But yeah, so each faction kind of has different gods that they lean towards, usually, or different parts of each country. Like in Herodel, kind of all of the gods that you would worship, they each have kind of a county where that is the predominant god. And so as you travel around the country, you can be a little out of place if you worship Vidnar, because, this is Barrick. And Barrick is all about rushing in without thinking first. And so especially if you maybe worship Tanar, whose sign is the lantern, you might think too much. You might be one of those people that's just, you don't act enough.
Love it.
So they are
lots of iconography then?
Yes.
Nice.
And World Anvil is where we host all of our lore, and where you can find out more about, each faction, what the names in the world are, the gods. There's a mix of short stories, which is a really fun way to access everything without having to read what sounds like, dissertation.
Right. That's a hard. We talk about that a lot. Level of entry for like some new gamers, or if they're new to the system, right? And it's like, here, you got to read a book. I'm not going to say which book this is, but we know which book this is.
Right. Yeah. So we've got like some stories where there's a fun adventure happening, and you're getting little bits of the information as you go, and so it's really easy to digest and have some fun. But internally, we had to kind of write the book so that we all stay on the same page.
Okay.
Consistency is super important. Yeah, that makes sense.
Heck yeah.
So as an art director, has it been a fun challenge, like building iconography for different religions and things like that?
It absolutely has been, because you're looking at it and you're like, okay, so what's going to be easily recognizable on a 32 millimeter model? So that's one of the biggest limiting factors sometimes. Like, can somebody freehand this on a shield?
Okay.
Or even if somebody used a printer and, printed something off and transferred a decal over, is it going to be the right size?
Yeah.
But I have such a fantastic group of concept artists. Neo Mendoza has been doing a lot of it here lately. And Neo is one of those people where you tell him the story, you tell him about the world, and he comes back with 5 ideas. And at least one of them is always just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's perfect.
Yeah, one of the things I really love about the relationship I have with my artists is that they are very much involved in building this world. They're active participants, and it is the better for all of their input.
Nice.
It's got to be super fulfilling for them as well to not only draw, but they have that, editorial input. Yeah,
I think that has been a big draw in getting some of the big names we did, because Neo did the box art for Terraforming Mars. Obviously,
wow.
Huge popular board game. And so then when you're a smaller company going after someone like that, one of the things that you can offer them, besides, we always pay our invoices on time, is you're going to get a lot of creativity and you're going to help create this. And it's not just going to be me telling you what to do. I save that for company members.
There.
I pulled some of the art from the website. If you don't mind me, I can show a couple of things. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, our Eclipse faction, Julie, who is the Blade Mother and leader of the faction, would be thrilled.
Wow, look at
That's
that.
very cool.
That is an all-female faction. So they are in the southern continent with the Trazerites, who are the ones riding on that scorpion. And the Trazerites are very patriarchal, and they kind of think, women should be safe at home in the kitchen. And this is the rebellion fighting against them. Like, no, I don't want to cook you dinner anymore.
Nice.
I love that. And then here's another one.
So that's Falcar. That's what I'm going to be playing for the NRC. As you can see, they've got some fire magic. They are absolutely fantastic. The swordsman there in the green cloak is probably the best swordsman that we have in the game. He can actually parry an arrow.
What?
Yeah, that's his reflexes. It's wild.
That's very cool. And then here's another one.
And that is the Erdegar tribes. That was the Tribes of Ruin. So that was Adepticon in 24.
Okay.
I think was the newest. And so the Erdegar tribes kind of live to the north. They don't really believe in a whole lot of armor. As you can see some skin here. These guys are a little bit in the colder area, so they're more covered than their Valor counterparts.
Okay.
But they live a little on the wild side.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah.
So
You
are
gotta
the
give me
female barbarian pirates then? Is that what you're telling me?
That could kind of be how you see it. But yeah, they don't really believe in land ownership. You own it by deed. And so if you chase somebody out, it's yours now.
It makes sense. Really.
Yeah, so they definitely don't respect anyone else's. I don't know if you can really tell in that art, but their followers are a Khazaric and a Herodellin that are chained together. They have captured them in battle. They chain them together. One of them gets a shield and the other gets a spear. And they're told that if they kill someone in battle, so in the very back there, he's got a bald spear and he's holding just the shield. So those are captives that they have. And they tell them that if they can kill an enemy in battle, they're going to set them free. I have not seen a case where that happened. So yeah, I think they might be lying. They're a little evil.
What? Dang, I'm really digging this model.
Which one?
This guy.
The Krang.
Let's
The
pick that
Krang
out.
2.0.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
Nice.
Has such a fun rule set too. He has an ability called Flurry, which is when he has piled on, he lowers the defense of the model he's piled on with someone else in his faction by an additional 1. So if your standard defense with a shield is 5, once you have 2 models on you, normally your defense goes down by 1 and your defense would be 4.
Okay.
But if one of those 2 models is a Krang, the defense is only 3. So you just have to roll a 3 to hit a model with a shield that has a Krang and something else piled on.
Nice.
No, you just have to roll a 3, and that's on the scaling dice. So it could be on a D4, but it could be on a D12.
Right.
Am I picking that up? Neat.
Yep. Correct. So the D4 is usually saved for you are really terrible at something. So Herodel has the muster, which is essentially the farmers that they grab out of the field. Think medieval Europe there. And so in that sense, they're not great with like their daggers. They're decent with their threshing rods.
Okay.
But their dagger's only going to be like a D4. So if you happen to hit one of the peasant archers in melee, all they have is a D4 to try and hit you with. We also have a discipline system, and in the combat, the model with the highest discipline gets to attack first.
Okay.
And so a lot of times, if you have a better model, you can just pick off and kill the other one before they have a chance to strike back.
Wow.
But if your discipline is the same, then it's simultaneous. So even if the other person rolls first and kills you, you still get to roll back and possibly kill them as well.
Ooh. I can dig that.
So you are definitely trying to pick your combats well as part of this skirmish.
The Sir Gambit
Nice.
25 can't wait to replace his Krangs, or their Krangs, rather.
Yeah, the Krang was not a beautiful model initially. He has this big, bushy, wild beard,
Hmm.
and we did away with that.
Yeah.
I heard the sculptor wasn't good at noses or lips, so they didn't get to put a beard on there. I'm just kidding.
Well, that could be true. That was well before my time, so.
It's like AI, terrible with hands, you know. Very
That
tough.
just reminded me of Hot Fuzz. A great big bushy beard.
Yeah,
Oh, that's such a good movie.
yeah. Got to put that in the classic rotation. All right, I got some purple Zambalus on this guy,
That's it.
so it's kind of
Oh,
coming together.
Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. The
Wow.
carapace is really standing out.
Kind of
Yeah.
crystalline from here.
And then
Let
on
me
the
slow
bottom,
you
I got
down
him
so
a
you can
little
barely
bit.
that. Kaboom! Way
Nice.
better. Oh, that's looking awesome.
He's
Yep.
the Skeletor of
Yeah.
Doom Crawlers, right?
Nice. Until next time.
That really kind of matches the Diamond Legion. Like I think I know which Trezorite Legion to throw you in.
Right?
Nice. Good Lord. These bugs, man.
They're so cute and friendly. Little
Yeah.
blood flies just
Yeah.
out to say hello.
Yeah.
This
They're just
guy's
trying to
long
survive.
too. Now you said this guy was kind of an avatar of the god of death.
Yeah, so our Shroud God. So very cool. Now he is technically the weakest of the Shroud's avatars.
This big old guy.
Yeah. So if they ever give me permission to do the next one, it will be insane.
Right.
I think they should.
Is it going to have a Grim Reaper mechanic? I'll be all in, or Grim Reaper aesthetic rather, not mechanic.
That could be really fun. Occasionally, I do let the other company members have a say in things.
Ah,
So I'm never 100% sure what something is going to look like, except for the couple times I am.
they can just stay in their zone and let you do your what are the kids saying these days? Let you cook?
Yeah, let him cook.
All right, I'll remember that. But one of the things that we have in the company is kind of each of us has taken one of the factions that we
Okay.
think of as ours, and we have a little bit more say and influence.
Mm-hmm. All right. This one has the fly have like they're on this branch, and the branch has these little mushroom pads, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, when you're designing a model, you always want to make sure that painters have something to work with.
Yeah.
Something that's going to catch the edge of a dry brush if you go that route, or something that you can really add an interesting pop of color.
Yeah,
That's
definitely a lot of cool edges on this thing.
Yeah.
Curve, twist.
That's wild to think about. Like, yeah, I know you want to put some texture on it to keep it interesting, and then leave some blank areas to give people room to do their thing.
Right.
But yeah, all those like how to texture it and where. That's wild. That would be a crazy game of balancing, like balancing act to get something sculpted.
It is. And the whole time you're having to think about, what are we going to be able to cast well? You know, this pose is amazing. Am I going to be able to put it in a mold and pull out a model that is going to look great, or is it going to fail on me?
Yeah, you don't want it shaggy and malformed.
Oh, we had a few comments from Sir Gambit and Guardian. Sir Gambit
Alright.
says they can't wait to replace your Krangs, and then they mentioned Mongolian Santa.
It was kind of more Mongolian Krampus.
Ooh.
It was not great.
Oh, the
old
old model
one.
with the beard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Guardian 170 says, "Go ahead, Jen. Let's make the others." And then Ashen. I'm not sure what Ashen.
Yeah, so that one you have is the Ashen Lightbane. So the others are going to be Ashen, I don't know what. But I have heard that they are bigger, meaner, tougher. Be more empowered is a good word for it.
Mm.
Since they are fueled by a god.
All right.
It sounds like the gods take an active interest in what's happening in this world.
They do. And we actually technically have two linked worlds. So Phalon is where all the skirmishing is happening, but there are portals that open up to Carolon, which is a realm of demons
Ooh.
and dragons.
Yay!
Yeah, dragons are technically demons in this world.
All
Yay.
right.
The demons occasionally come through just because they want somewhere better. They don't like the dragons either. They can't fight them themselves. So they'd really rather just come, take over this world than
Mm,
have to fight dragons continually.
all
And
right.
the Grular here some of them have made deals with the demons, basically saying, if you help us take some better, more fertile land, we'll leave you our old land, which is still better than what you have now.
Seems like a fair deal.
I feel like there's a thing in there where they're still gonna cheat.
Yes.
Hashtag demons.
Right. But, I'm not
Demons.
sure that Gruul are really serious about fulfilling their end either. They're probably hoping that, the demons get killed off and trying
Right.
to take the new lands.
I mean, demon's gonna demon, right?
Yeah.
Demon's gonna
And
do.
people can be evil too. We don't have really any factions that are 100% evil. Some lean more that way, but it's kind of more like humans. You can make poor choices
What?
without inherent evilness.
Mhm.
But the Grular are always trying to take over somewhere else because they just have those broad steppes, and it's great for raising horses, but you're not ever really going to be able to grow crops to some extent. Your population size is limited, so they're always looking to expand. And every time they get yelled at for it, they're like, you guys did the same thing a couple generations ago. Like, why are you saying we're the bad guys?
Demons.
Well, yeah, that is one thing maybe you can call on. But some of our demons are just plant-based demons, and they really just want to chill out and grow plants.
Mm.
Evil plants that will take over your forest, but they just want to chill and grow plants.
Okay, there's mandrakes and what? Kudzu? That's all I could think of as the demonic, because Kudzu just won't stop.
No, yeah, very much like an invasive. So they're trying to build dark groves, and so they are led by the Cariad, which is a nice, huge, hulking female tree demon. And then we have the Dryad and the Sariad, which are very much like the young, pretty tree demons, like you would expect of a Dryad.
Right.
And we have a Thorn Ripper, which is this really cute, chubby little thorny bush.
It sounds adorable.
That's the cutest name.
But he's adorable. I think obviously the creepier things in this game are adorable, but that might be a me thing.
So you've talked about how amazing the community is. Where can the people find ways to interact with your community?
So on our Discord,
What?
the World of Phalon is the easiest place to find if there's anyone else in your area who plays it. Because we do have, by region. So you'd be able to talk to all of the other Michigan players on there. So you would see Jeff and Jacob Hazy and all of those guys.
Okay.
And then also there's just, open ones for painting, rules questions, and you can get answers almost immediately.
Nice.
On all of that. And so that's a really friendly place. We also have our Facebook that can be a really good way to interact with people and keep up on when we're doing our Inner Sea campaign and different things there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
So
those are the easiest. Like I said, World Anvils where we hide all of our lore. So if
okay.
you want to be able to read up more about the world and that kind of stuff. But I think Discord and Facebook are probably the places where you'll get to talk to the most members of the community. And it's probably Discord that wins that.
Okay. And is there links to the Discord on your website?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got that down below, so people can check that out.
Yeah. So the World of Phalon Discord is a fantastic place to, actually talk to the people who run the company, answer questions for you, tell you kind of what we were thinking, get previews of what's coming next.
Nice.
I also put on some of the character sheets or cards you have on the website as well. It's really cool that a lot of this is accessible. The rule sets are downloadable, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah, it's a
character-
hyperlinked PDF. So when you just need this one rule so that you can get back to playing quickly, you click on it, it takes you right to the exact sentence you need to read. And you're like, oh, okay, so that's how charge works. Let's go.
So I'm just going to show one here real quick.
And so these are available for free on the website. You can print them out. You can look at them on your phone or tablet while you're playing, or you can also go to Drive-Thru Cards and get physical versions printed out if you like to have your cards, on the table in front of you.
Right.
There's a couple other character cards. A freebooter, mercenary crossbowman, very cool.
Nice.
There's another one here.
Yeah, so Irvlor and Keldan are actually sculpted after two of our community members.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Kevin and Irvin up in Canada. They're a pair of twins. And we had it sculpted to look just like them. They were sculpted by Patrick Keith. And they loved the game. They wanted to include themselves in it. And so as you can see, one of them's got a turkey leg, the other's holding a bag of gold.
just like those two.
Yeah, and they're really kind of fun to take for the campaigns because they have that merchant too, which adds extra dice that you are rolling at the end of a campaign game. And that's the gold that you use to buy more members for your free band, to expand your ship, and all that fun stuff, or pick up magic items.
Now there was a pair of Canadian twins that were at the mid-mitten.
That was probably them.
I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I got to meet those miniatures.
Yeah, there are a couple of real people that exist in miniature form in our game.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's also a cool incentive or thing that people could win. What was the thing that made it so that you guys did that for them?
So we had for a while a sponsorship program where we let people, if they were willing to pay for it, to have whatever they wanted sculpted. It didn't even have to be them. It could be, I really want a model that's a hero, but primarily uses a bow because I just feel like, I don't have enough ranged in my faction. And that is something we've had to back off of for now, just because, like I said, we are working really hard to get every faction kind of on equal footing in terms of they have enough followers, they have different types of casters. So we have kind of chilled on that for the moment, but it might not be gone forever.
Okay.
But also we have a Patreon. And one of the things that the world builders, which is the top tier of that, get is they pick a faction and they get a ton of say in what is in that faction.
Okay.
And so when we're going to come out with a new model for that faction, they can get quite a bit of say in what's going to come. Oh. And then we've also done a couple of models where we've kind of memorialized people who have helped us, people who've passed on that were fantastic members of the community.
Okay.
So we have sculpted them into the game so that they are with us forever.
Nice.
That's a cool legacy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the field warden for the Khazaric is, I believe, Jesse Copeland, who passed away, I want to say somewhere in the 2020s, somewhere in the COVID madness, where dates didn't matter as much, like what day of the week it was. But we lost him then, so we had that model sculpted to represent him so that he will stay with us. So that was a really fantastic one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And, do you guys know Audrey Nethery?
I do not. No.
Okay. She has, I believe, Black Diamond Anemia. And there's a home store out in her neck of the woods that does some charity events for her. And she helped us design the Wild Wing, which is a dancing bard.
Okay.
And so, we've got some things like that. So, where the opportunity exists that we can kind of honor the community that we have and how wonderful they are.
Right. That's super cool.
Those are some of my favorite ones to do. And luckily my artists are awesome at actually making it look like the person.
Yeah,
That's a big ask for a sculptor.
for sure.
And you recognizably be this person, but it's tiny.
Right. That's wild.
Comax in the chat is saying that we should show off the Night Immolator.
Oh, the Night Immolator is one of my favorites because really horses are my favorite. So she is part of our Falcarans.
I'm
Okay.
grabbing a screen cap right now, Mark.
All right.
So
Nimble
she
fingers. Good work.
is left-handed. So she is holding a flaming sword in her left hand. She has a shield on her right. And she
Alright.
is riding a horse into battle, and she's kind of blessed by flame. So the fire is not going to affect her.
Okay.
And so you can run her with that fire wizard that they have, and he can throw fireballs on top of her all day long, and she and her horse are fine. Doesn't
Here she
bother
is.
her.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Very dynamic.
Yeah, and our studio artist, Aaron Newell, definitely had some fun doing a little bit of OSL. You can see there on the,
Yeah.
the left,
Oh yeah, way
picked up
back
the
up there.
flames from the sword.
Yeah.
And on the cloth there too, a little bit.
Yeah, so
yeah,
lots and lots of fun things you can do with her.
Mm.
Another super fun OSL model that we have is the our Wandering Wizard. He actually has a staff with a lantern. And so Aaron taught a class here in Kansas City at the local game store where you painted him like he was out at night and the only source of light was that lantern.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was an amazing class to take. I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, OSL is a very fun technique to apply to models that lend themselves to it. Like you said, that the lantern on the staff would be super sick. You know, flaming swords, lightsabers. Yeah, I also feel like some undead that have the gaunting glow of a spirit could also
yeah.
have some form of OSL as well.
Absolutely. So all of our undead are in the Kandoran faction. They are the only ones that love running around with corpses.
Yeah, they sound troubled.
And I just grabbed a picture of that Wandering Wizard here.
Nice.
And there we go.
Oh, very
yeah,
cool.
I can definitely see where you like doing the light from that lantern. That would be that'd be a fun challenge.
Yeah, so that was the first major OSL project that I had, and I loved it.
Nice.
Do you have any tips for the crowd to do OSL?
The one thing that really helped me was zenithal priming, so that you just start with that really clear idea of where your light's going to be hitting.
Yeah.
And then, just thin layers of paint so that you don't cover all that up instantly and forget.
Yeah. Nice. Well,
grabbing those values is very handy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's. Is it time to show off our models again?
I think so.
Yeah. Let's go ahead with Will.
All right. I've gotten about this far on this awesome guy whose name I forgot, but I know he worships the Shroud.
The Ashen Lightbane.
The Ashen Lightbane?
Uh-huh. Oh, that weapon looks so good in gold.
Yes.
I really like that gold.
Dynamic pose. I love that.
Yeah. I just got some wash into the fleshy bits, and I'll start dry brushing that to get the ashen look. And then we got the little snake guy. He's looking kind of snaky. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, he looks great.
Cutie patootie.
How about you, Mark?
Right.
Kabow.
But did some little eyes on him there.
Nice.
Try to go back in the recesses and not, not quite a wash, but I was trying to do like that transition between the Turbo Dork and the ink. I don't know if you can see it there. So it kind of has that old school like hypercolor, or not hypercolor, but that paint that kind of like
shifter paint.
Right,
shifter paint.
And then kind of dry brush some of the bottom there and kind of hit some of the edging. But yeah,
looks great.
Kind of fun.
Very cool. Jen, how's yours coming along?
It is coming. So she's got her purples. We've obviously picked
Yeah.
out all of her silvers. Started highlighting that skull.
Oh, that skull's looking good.
Yeah.
Some basic brown boots.
Nice.
Big flaming skull and boots with the fur.
Right?
Everybody
Yes, I
in the
just need
steps
to
is
throw
I
looking.
was
Zelda
wondering if you're
out of
going
this
there.
Nice. Can we do the overhead for me, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Kabam.
Spoiled.
All right.
He's spoiled. Look at that.
So we've got him.
That's splint mail. That's looking good.
Yeah, I would like to see this guy on a ship. You know, he's wearing red. You know, so you won't see him bleed, right?
There you go.
He knows what's
he's
up.
ready.
Deadpool style.
Yeah, Deadpool style. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's looking good. I really enjoyed doing the bag there. I used a little bit of yellow in there to give that age look that we learned from our friend Rich. I
Thank
think
you
2
for that,
seasons
Rich.
ago.
That's
Yeah,
been very
and
helpful.
then this right here are my bugs here. I put some
Those
red
are
in the
good.
wings to make it look like when they're drinking it gets in their wings as well, the blood bloat. And then put some. They got these little like mushrooms here, and the light isn't really hitting it, but there are some red and yellow and purple mushrooms with, going on. So
I
yeah,
see how you picked it out. That looks great.
yeah, it's super fun. These are great.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing these models with us. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of my crew members, or if not my captain of the vessel.
Hi, Captain. My Captain.
But if I wanted to play my Stormcrest stuff, my ship has the Stormcrest. The captain of the Stormcrest is a female,
Right. Okay.
and she's a BA.
Is there a boat that's like the antithesis of the Stormcrest?
It is probably the Wavebreaker.
The Wavebreaker. That's
Yeah. Yeah, so that's another ship in my world that is manned by clerics of the storm god in the world, and they come after my team a lot.
What have you done to anger them?
Yeah, so
Did you forget to make appropriate sacrifices, or was there some blasphemy?
Well, they're just bad people, and my guys are kind of like, in the game. It's more of a lower decks. If you're watching that at all, Star Trek, my crew, my captain treats them like they're a bunch of red shirts, right?
Yeah.
In today's episode of the Stormcrest Chronicles, the following members will be going in to do the thing, and the captain, as always, says, "Good luck. If you die, I will find more."
It's a good way to build morale.
Yeah, it's fun. All right. So let's give some shout outs to some sponsors and some folks that we really appreciate. So big shout out to Gen Con and Gen Con TV for allowing us to be here every Wednesday, or every Wednesday we can be here. And if not for them, we wouldn't be here giving you all the craziness that we do from the Michigan area. And all the cool people we get to interview, such as Jen and the folks over at DGS. Big shout out to them. Make sure you're following DGS on all their socials so you don't miss out on any of the cool updates and things that are coming out at dgsgames.com. And because this Inner-Sea thing's really got me stoked. So I'm really excited for that. Also, big shout out to the folks over at Game Envy. They're the ones that are pretty much the brushes that we use, with a Phalanx Synth and Speed by Game Envy, the dry brush palette here, and these cool cups that are collapsible that we get to clean our brushes off in are really cool. So if you're ever at a convention and Game Envy's there, pick up their stuff, or go to GameEnvy.com and grab all the cool stuff, or GameEnvy.net and get all the cool stuff that they have there. Hoplite Games for allowing me to do this here. Granted, it's my store, so I've allowed myself.
It's very nice of you.
That's how I like to do things too.
It's nice when you can be the beneficiary of your own largesse.
Right?
And also
That's so
to
nice
Mark, And to Mark and Will, of course, for doing all the back end stuff that makes this show happen as well. These guys are great, and we appreciate everything they do. So shout out to them. Other than that, I can't, and to all the paint companies that we're currently working with that we spotlight earlier in the show. So yay for them.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Cool. So next show for you guys, what's the next big event that you guys will be seen at?
Adepticon, where I am debuting the new faction, the Varkrallans.
The Varkrallans. Very cool. And you guys have a really neat setup. So when people are walking around and they need to find your booth, you got those like glass displays with all the painted miniatures in them.
Yeah.
Right? And they look
Caught
so
our eye.
cool.
Caught our eye.
Yep, caught our eye. I mean, I've seen you guys at Adepticon in the past because I usually help out the Warzone Eternal
Okay.
booth,
Yeah.
and it's kind of been kind of kitty corner from you guys
Yeah.
the past few years. So
Yeah.
and then at Gen Con, getting to run into y'all was a great opportunity, and has obviously been super fun today. So Adepticon is the next one. Then you'll obviously be at Gen Con. Yeah.
Right. And then Reaper.
And Reaper's in what, September?
Yeah. It's Labor
Yeah.
Day weekend.
Yeah.
And it is definitely a more painting focused. So, I mean, absolutely amazing. One of the coolest things about their competition there for painting is you're not judged against everyone else. They judge you on where you are. So they tell you how you can be a better painter,
Okay.
not whether or not you're as good as this other painter over here.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing way to do it because you walk away with so much more knowledge and like, oh,
Right.
here's what I need to learn next, and the class is there to die for.
So I haven't been down to the Reaper headquarters since the beginning of 2020, before the world was put in lockdown. I went and did a tour of their facilities, and this was before their new space.
Yeah, they have moved and expanded.
Yeah, and they hold ReaperCon in that space. Is that right?
Well, they've been doing it at the Denton Convention Center, and then they've got a shuttle bus that runs over to the main area so that you can still take the tour and see everything.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah. The ReaperCon is one of those ones I feel like if you need to do at least one con once, that's one of them. But if you need to do it multiple times, that's also one of them.
It's so fantastic. I always walk away from there like so inspired to paint and just all such wonderful people.
Yeah, because I feel like Gen Con can be something that you can go to once and you've done it. You've been to Gen Con.
My husband feels that way.
Yeah, it can be super overwhelming. There's so many things there, so much to see and do, and you don't get to see and do all of it. So it's worth going to at least once.
Yeah.
And Adepticon being what it is, it is I would say the premier miniature convention in the US.
Yeah, and you will find so many demos, and it's so easy to find a game. So it is the place to go to actually play.
Yeah, it's super fun. Now, do you do any of the trade show stuff as well, like Gamma or any of the? I don't know if are you guys in any distribution and go to like ACD Game Day or Alliance Open House or anything like that?
We don't right now. So one of the other things that we are working on is getting a starter set together, because that's one of the things that a distributor would love to have.
Right.
So, picking two factions, because right now, if you come up to us at like Adepticon, we'll give you a starter bundle where you get to pick which two factions you like.
Okay.
And then get some accessories and everything you need to get started.
Right.
And so that's hugely popular at the con because you get to choose what you want.
Okay.
But distributors love having a big box that's something that's easy to get out to a game store. And so that is definitely on our target list to knock out.
Okay. Now, is there a possibility at any of these events that you will be playing your Inner Sea faction and people can try to take you out?
There is always a chance. I mean, if somebody wanted to, and that was put up like on the Discord, we could absolutely plan it and bring an amazing display board. Matt Gooch always comes up with like these amazing display boards. We also have a competition about like who brings the best display board. So part of our North American Championship tournament there at Adepticon is the display board competition. So it's not just painted models; it's
That's fun.
you make a 4x4
Mm.
table that is just
Mm.
stunning, and they have come through year after year.
Okay.
The
I've seen a
Canadian
fair
Twins,
few
I
of
think, have
those.
certainly blown it away.
Right.
Yeah, there's a fair
And-
few of those at Mid-Mitten. It was
Yeah.
astonishing.
Yes.
Just the number of awesome multi-tiered like arenas and just
Mm.
beautiful. That was what I really walked away with. Like those tables look super fun to play on.
Oh,
Nice.
absolutely. Because you're having to take into account all of the terrain, and you're like, okay, maybe I haven't had to use a lot of jump and climb in my
Right.
non-role play games,
Right.
but these tables are going to change that.
It
That's
makes me
fun.
wonder if what was the name of the ship that you have?
I have Sophie's Revenge from Reaper.
Are you going to call it Sophie's Revenge when you bring it to table?
I will probably rename it since obviously it'll be in
Mm.
Phelan, so I'll probably have John and Gooch help me give it a good Falcaran name
Mm.
because
I feel
I
like-
am privateering. I am not a pirate.
I feel like the Stormcrest and your ship should meet up. Ooh,
We should have a battle.
you should have a battle.
We could
Yeah.
probably make that happen.
Yeah,
Rumbling.
and take all the fixers and dress like pirates.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I painted my Blade Sister with like a Burberry trench coat. So if I wanted to role play my character, I would be out a pretty penny.
I mean, thrift store. Come on, we can find something. So
Well,
funny
I know the exact
story.
trench coat.
Oh, you know the exact trench coat you want.
Yeah, I want the Burberry one.
All
right.
Worth it. Good.
So, funny story is I was actually in the Navy for 20 years.
Awesome.
And so that's why I have such a gravitation towards high sea campaigns, high sea adventures, and now high sea miniature skirmish destruction. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. You buy it completely honestly.
yeah.
You should
That's
go
all.
all in and do it on Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Oh, no, what's that? September 17th or something like that? Not that I would know.
Is that the day?
It's either the 17th or 19th. I can't remember exactly, but it's one of those 2 days.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Mac
That is
Daddy
super
saying hi. We had a comment a while back from Guardian 170 that said that the dragons are the gods of Carolon, and they're not happy about Phelan's existence.
No, they definitely want to come and wreak havoc. So the first dragon that we have is Thrakenzor, and it was sculpted by Julie Guthrie. So
okay, yeah.
and like
Yep.
she really kind of is the queen of dragons.
Yep.
Yeah, so she sculpted a nice, lovely, chunky boy for us, and he is the fire dragon. And so he is one
Nice.
of the first ones that breaks into Phelan and wreaks havoc.
All right.
And I will say it has never been defeated while it is played by our lead designer, John Cleves.
Well,
It has been defeated when you just follow NPC rules if they were followed appropriately, but no one has been able to beat it when the designer has it in his hands.
hey, that seems weird.
I mean, I took a couple chunks out of it, like it ran away from me, but
Mm,
that was my saint.
okay.
So now she's dead, so she can't save Phelan again.
Mm,
Someone new is going to have to step forward.
oh, that's wild.
That's awesome.
All right. So Jen, where are there any other platforms that you would want anybody that's new to watching here or new to you to go to join up to make sure they don't miss anything? Because Instagram, TikTok, anything like that?
I am sure that we have an Instagram. I leave that up to the marketing guy.
Okay. All right.
There. Go to the website down below and
Yeah, he does have everything linked on the website. I will say that.
Right.
Gooch has been fantastic
That's
about that.
Okay.
And that way he won't kill me for not knowing the answers.
I'm actually going to look up on, see if you guys have a TikTok. That'd
That
be
one
fun.
I'm not sure about. That would be kind of fun. We have actually talked about like expanding. One of the difficulties is we all kind of live all over the place. And I
Yeah.
live somewhere with hamster internet.
oh really?
Way out in the country. So I am up here at headquarters just to steal the good internet because I can't watch Twitch streams at home, let alone participate.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's what makes my farm a good place to dispose of bodies.
Whoa. Well, it's
Not that you've ever needed to.
Right.
stiff,
But
a
I know
stiff
Jeff
wind out
mentioned
there.
you guys too.
A stiff wind out there knocked your power or at least your internet, right?
Yeah, we've definitely had some trouble getting connection through, storms. Storms are terrible.
We got a
Yeah.
blizzard happening in Michigan right now.
Really?
We do.
We're a little cool in Kansas, but it is not terrible yet. We really haven't felt winter.
Okay. Yeah, we've only got it a few times. Actually, it's been pretty mild so far. So
Yeah, my parents back in Wyoming sent me pictures of their deck that's completely covered in snow, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I moved.
Wyoming.
Thanks for reinforcing it.
Nice. All right. Well, so we're coming to the end here. We just want to let everybody know we can do one last little show of how we did today on our miniatures, and then have a wonderful breakaway. Let's take a
all
look.
right.
Go ahead, Will. Hit it up.
I'll solo me out there real quick. There we go. And it
Okay.
took me a few tries to find the red I really like for this guy, but I did. It was
Ooh,
the Pro Acryl Burnt Red. It's a
Nice.
lovely, lovely color.
it is.
And it goes really well with that gold.
Mhm.
I'm loving this mini. This guy's
Mhm.
great. And then we got Mr. Hiss Hiss.
Hiss,
This
hiss.
is the Leak Warrior.
He's a Slytherin.
That is cool.
He's got a pouch. He's got a pouch. It's not a purse. It's a pouch. It's a
Oh, it's
thing.
a pouch. All right,
European man bag.
Mark.
All right. So we'll go the top down again.
Oh,
I had
nice.
to stop painting after a while because you just stuff starts to blend together, But
Yeah.
so underbelly here, he's been in a battle, so he's lost 2 arms. But kind of got the color shift there. But I mean, the biggest thing was doing the dark recesses and then doing that edging on the,
Yeah, that looks cool.
Those
so
green eyes are awesome. Great
Heck
picture.
yeah.
kind of
And Jen.
funny.
I kind of let my ADHD have free reign, and so I jumped over to the Voavar here, and it
Oh.
started painting its little flower. So it is a giant bee moth. It is
Okay.
native to Haredale, and it pollinates these giant sunflowers that it is hanging out on.
Nice.
And that's one of our familiars. So they go with the caster, and give it some magic benefits, let you cast spells from further away, and some other cool things.
Very cool. And again, could you remind me what this character's name was again?
The Krang.
The Crane. That's right. So I put, like I said, Slaughter Red on there. I used the brown speed paint, Zealot Yellow for some of the other stuff on there. I used gunmetal and bright silver on the shoulder pads, his chainmail leggings, and on his bracers, and on his weapons as well. So super cool there. And then here is the
Blood
fly. What are they called again?
The blood fly swarm.
The blood fly swarm. Yeah, so there's
Ugh.
three of these little buggers in there on that branch, and I just love the idea of these bursting out of a corpse and attacking wanderers by. They're just amazing. So very cool. Very cool models. Jen, thank you so much for joining us here on Path of the Brush. And it was also kind of fun to learn how you paint with your husband. That's super cool. And
Yeah, well, he's the one who got me into it, so it's only fair.
yeah, I love it. And I want to see some of your stuff. So I'm going to be joining your Discord and checking out. I'm hoping you put some of your works in the miniature space.
Yeah, so there should be an NRC campaign tag that actually has that newest free band I'm talking about, where they're all wearing the life preservers in orange.
Okay.
So that's the most recent that I've got in there painted.
There.
Yeah, everybody's got a life jacket on.
That's awesome. The Marty McFlies.
That's right.
What are you in the
All
Navy?
right. Heck yeah. All right. So everybody watching, again, go dgsgames.com, give them a follow, and follow them on all their socials. Until next time, I'm Rick.
I'm Will.
I'm Bart.
And thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
And we look forward to seeing all of you at your friendly local game store.